through that process. If you have any issues, you of course can reach out to us. Also, if you have any families who have not filed their 2023 taxes, this would be a really great time to do that so that they are ready by hopefully December 1st or sometime thereafter. And then also for yourselves, if you're going to be helping students and contributors with the FAFSA form, I would just click through the prototype a few times. That way you can get really comfortable with the questions and the information that is needed so that you could advise students properly. But I promised you some resources, and here they are. Of course, FSA provides many resources that are pretty reliable. The Federal Student Aid Handbook, that's updated every time there is a change of a resolution. There you have a financial aid toolkit as well. That's a really great resource because there are different resources based on what you need. And then just the studentaid.gov website itself, I often go there to look for information. It can be pretty helpful. And then once again, the websites for the FAFSA prototype and the FAFSA beta testing site. The beta testing site I just find super interesting, especially right now. But as for us here at the Department of Higher Education in Colorado, we also offer some resources. There are these lunch and learns. We are working on our educator financial aid trainings coming up in February. And then we also have FAFSA CASFA toolkits. The top one is in English and the bottom one is in Spanish. So I just thought I would take you here real quick so you could see what it's like and get a feel for it. Are you still seeing the website?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so when you come to this website, you can just you can read all of this if that's what you want to do, but the toolkits are down here. There are for students and parents, and then FAFSA for professionals is the green one. And you can click on this, learn more about FAFSA for professionals, and it will take you to all the links and documents that we have to help you out. The checklist is good. It's nothing that you can print out yet. The FAFSA completion tool, the net price calculator, that takes you to a website where you can enter your school and get that cost of attendance. And there's the FSA ID worksheet here that could be very helpful as of right now. This is actually something that you can print and hand out to your students so they can write down all of the information as they're working through that process, because the chances of them remembering like their challenge questions and username and password come December 1st might be a little slim. They have a lot on their mind. So just having them fill this out can make it a little bit easier for them. Let's go back. And then you can go through the other things if they're helpful for you. That is on the FAFSA toolkit. And then, like I said, you can access the Spanish ones below the English ones as well. So you don't have to have the site for that. But I just need to figure out how I get back to okay, there. All right. And then, of course, you have us as a resource as well, the outreach and engagement team here at the Colorado Department of Education. If you do ever need to get in touch with us, you can contact this email address. Here is my direct email address if you have any questions, or if you need the event request form. We can come out and help if you're having an FSA ID event, or come December 1st, if you're having a FAFSA CASFA completion event, we would be happy to help if we're available. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Jen, for that. So I'm actually going to go right back to where Jen was just showing us the toolkit. This is a new toolkit, if you will, that we have on the Department of Higher Education's website. And I'm not sure if, and maybe I should just go ahead and also share my screen. I don't know if all of you are aware, but the Department of Higher Ed has a FAFSA completion tool, and it will be renamed soon and enhanced. We've been doing some updates to it, but it will be called the Financial Aid Application Tool, which we are going to roll in the CASFA application as well as the FAFSA together. And so those numbers will be on our in the tool itself. But I wanted to show you. Okay, can you see the website? You see the website okay, guys? Yes, okay, great. So I just wanted to show you, this is where Jen was just showing us. We have, all kinds of information on here, but recently, we have created our lovely DRP team. Richard Mizurak has created this an FSA ID creation dashboard. So this is by county in the state of Colorado. So you can go on here and see where you can look and see if you're in county, Moffett County, and you're at 6% of FSA ID account creation. Now, this map is updated weekly. We get numbers from FSA, Federal Student Aid at the U.S. Department of Education. And these are numbers with the 12th grade students only. So we can also see right now, Delta County and Otero County are both tied for, I guess, top place in the state of Colorado. They're at 31% of their high school seniors have filled out an FSA ID. So this is a really neat tool. This is really going to help us hopefully between now and December 1st especially, but going forward in FAFSA completion, because FSA ID creation is the first step that students have to do to fill out the FAFSA. So I'm just going to go back here up. So let me see, what's the best way? I think this is all. Oh yeah, okay, it's like a toggle down. So also I mentioned previously that the department has a completion tool. So we are working on updating this. And what this is for those of you who do not know, we have created data share agreements with several school districts, not all. We're trying to get all school districts in the state of Colorado on the data share agreement. So with that, if they have that extra data share, you can go in there without logging on, but you can see what Academy 20, their high school, Discovery Canyon Campus High School, their cohort, and how many FAFSAs they have completed for the 24-25. So you can go in there and look at this now. And we are working with getting all school districts on board. I think right now we have about 50, 55. So once we get the new portal up and running, which is hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we will start giving the school counselors their IDs and that sort of thing. We kind of have a halt on that for the time being because we are finalizing the new portal. So I just wanted to give you this. And if you do get the data share agreement, you can go in here, log on and see student level data, see what students you need to specifically reach out to help them complete the FAFSA. So those are some tools that we've created at the department to help you, with FAFSA and CASFA completion statewide. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Stop sharing, there we go. And I don't have my agenda open. I seem to have lost it. Sophie, what is next on the agenda?
Next is talking about the FAFSA CASFA grant. So if you could pull up that flyer. I also have the flyer as well. So
yeah, do you mind?
No problem. Let me see how I can do.
Putting it in
Our colleagues at the Colorado Department of Education have a FAFSA CASFA completion grant, and we want to make sure you all know that they just reopened. So let me, this is not a brand new grant, so some of you may have already heard about it. However, let me open up the flyer and prepare to share it with you. Got it. Can you all see?
Yes, thank you.
Screen. Great. So the post-secondary workforce career and education grant is through Colorado Department of Education. And so the funding can help do these 4 things. And so I think maybe I'll just focus on, you can use this funding to have a FAFSA CASFA completion project at your school, to improve the training, to support students and families, to increase the number of students who complete financial aid applications. So we highly recommend you apply. Applications are due Tuesday, December 3rd. Visit the website to learn more and contact our colleague Cassandra. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's great. Thanks, Sophie. I'm having
problem.
issues here, but yeah,
No
I will try to
problem.
find or save this flyer and put it into the chat. And if not, we will provide all these resources at the end. So great. Okay, Sophie, are you taking us into your CASFA update?
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Twyla. So as the CASFA coordinator, just want to point out to everyone on the call that any questions, any concerns, you're welcome to contact me anytime. I will put my contact information in the chat. The CASFA is the Colorado application for state financial aid. This is an application that supports students who are not eligible to complete a FAFSA because they're not going to receive any federal student aid. I'm happy to provide more information about that. I didn't want to repeat myself too much, so just in general, the CASFA update is the 25-26 CASFA is opening December. We're aiming for December 1st. If it's not December 1st, it should be right then in the beginning of December. We will update you all as soon as we possibly can. Thank you for your patience with that. And then, like I said, I'll put my contact information. Please reach out if you have any CASFA related questions. And so next we're planning on talking a little bit about our post-secondary options programs. And I think who is going to talk about that?
I will go ahead and
Great.
just give a quick update. So recently, July 1, 2024, we launched a new program at the department. It is it's a new post-secondary options program. It is called Empower Ed. And I will, I'll put this link into the chat. So Empower Ed is a state-funded program for students who experienced homelessness while they were in high school in Colorado and were identified as being McKinney-Vento eligible by a designated school personnel while in high school. So we just had our first application for the first semester close. So we will be reopening the new application for the next semester soon. And you can just look back on our website here for Empower Ed and see when that application will open, and the application is accessible through this link as well. So please check out the information on there. It's a great program, and we're looking forward to helping those students. All right, that's just that quick little update. And then now I believe there is a question in the chat. Okay, from Fran. Will CCHE be able to put together a handout on FAFSA completion for potential ascent students? Even though as a counselor, we explained that their FAFSA report indicates they are eligible for student aid, they will not be able to use that aid if they choose Ascent. It seems like it would be nice to have a handout from CCHE or CDE to verify that for parents. That is a great idea. So we will take that and see what we can do. Sophie, do you have, I know you and Jen just did a training, so do you have anything to add?
I think collaboration is a great option. I would love to connect Fran further to figure out what exactly you think would be most beneficial for Ascent students. And yeah, we look forward to working with you.
Great, thanks for that. All right, so are we going to dive in now to the questions, right, that were in the registration? Fantastic.
I'm going to share my screen in a second. Thank you all for your patience and thank you for submitting questions. Some of the questions we are not going to review right now because we already reviewed them today in the presentation. So if your questions aren't here on this list and you have additional questions about it, please follow up. I have the first question that came from the registration, which is, have all the issues identified by the Government Accountability Office been resolved? And I would say it's looking positive, especially that legislation that Jennifer mentioned, moving forward to require the FAFSA to open October 1st. To be honest, full transparency, I think that question will be better answered in December or January, because I think that there might be some issues that were originally identified that seem to be resolved, but come back in December. So we'll see. Thanks for that question.
And also they've mentioned that, you know, with fixes can come more issues. So they fix something, but then it causes another issue. So then they have to go and fix that issue. So hopefully all of that gets cleared up though by December 1st. Yeah. I'll take question 2. Will the contributors who do not have SSNs face the same ID verification issue with the new FAFSA, or will there be no ID verification problems if the student has a processed 24-25 SAI? And so there will be an ID verification process. And so once they click the box that they do not have the social security number, well, they've already created their FSA ID. So let me stick with that. So that did not go through verification, but once they are using that FSA ID for 25-26, that will go through verification. Should only take the 1 to 3 days. They may need to do the manual verification process if they don't get verified through their questions. So that could be a possibility, but it should not be like it was with the 24-25. It should be easier and faster. Plus, those contributors should still gain access to the FAFSA form so they can go ahead before their verification is completed and fill in their information manually. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Jen. I'll do question 3 from somebody who said we had lots of questions last year about what constitutes a farm and if there are income limits. For example, selling eggs versus selling beef is obviously more money in beef, but do smaller amounts count as farming? So I can put this link in the chat. Just wanted to say, I found that income producing farms that you own, including fair market value of land, building, livestock, unharvested crops, and machinery actively used in investment farms, agriculture, or commercial activities. So I highly recommend people who have questions about farms use some of the federal student aid resources because they can be very helpful.
Thanks, Sophie. That is a tricky question. Appreciate that. Clarification for families without social security numbers and use tax ID numbers. So contributors without social security numbers should not be entering anything in that social security number box. Instead, they will click the box and their address, phone number, email boxes will populate. After they do that, some other identifiable questions will populate. If they answer those questions correctly, they are verified and continue on to the form. If they do not answer those questions correctly, they'll see a banner at the top that they have not been verified, but they should still gain access to the form to enter their information manually, but then follow up looking at the email for the verification email.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'll do number 5. So about CASFA, what disqualifies a student from applying? And the examples were visa status and citizenship, etc. So a little bit more information about CASFA, and I did put the Wayfinder into the chat. Wayfinder is a pretty good tool to help determine who should be completing a CASFA. CASFA is an application for any student who isn't eligible for federal student aid. So students who are eligible for federal student aid are U.S. citizens or eligible non-citizens. I'll put this link in the chat as well. Federal student aid determines who is eligible, who is an eligible non-citizen, and they update that. They updated that last December, and so we in Colorado scrambled to keep up. In order to be awarded the Colorado Student Grant, which is state-based aid, a CASFA student has to demonstrate financial need via their SAI and be classified as Colorado asset eligible by the Colorado College or University Registrar or Residency Office. So depending on the student's visa status, they may be ineligible for Colorado asset. If so, that student could be awarded institutional aid by the college or university, or they could use their CASFA to demonstrate financial need for need-based scholarships. So very long answer, obviously. The question is, what disqualifies a student from applying? Nothing. There is nothing that disqualifies a student from applying. There are elements of Colorado asset eligibility that disqualify a student, essentially, that disqualify a student from receiving Colorado state aid. And please feel free to follow up if you have other questions about that.
Thank you, Sophie. Let's see, I believe this is the last question, and it is curious about how others are engaging with families often left out or missed in outreach efforts to impact FAFSA completion rates. Of course, we are just here to assist you, so we were hoping that if you have had any plans to do FAFSA completion events, or however you're doing that, if you want to come off mute and share that information with the group, we thought that might be a better use of time. How are you engaging families left out or missed in outreach efforts to impact FAFSA completion rates?
Jen, we have something in the chat from Dallas. We are hosting FAFSA CASFA work session at our school, so that's great.
Is that, Dallas, is that during school? Is it after school? What's working best for you? What are you finding there, if you don't mind me asking? In the evening? Usually evenings, that's what I'm finding too. Most of the requests that we get to attend either FSAID completion events or the actual FAFSA CASFA completion events. Don't forget, we want to be inclusive. So using both FAFSA CASFA or just a financial aid night is what we're finding. But usually in the evenings, schools are emailing, same as you, newsletters, announcements, trying to get the word out. What I honestly am finding is that if you hold the event, they will come. Because of what happened last year with the 24-25, people are aware. They know what happened. They know it was a mess. And so there's a little bit of maybe anxiety and concern about this next FAFSA season. And so they're, attending events and webinars, everything that I have seen, people are attending and engaged. So if you're wondering if you should have an event or not, I would say most definitely hold an event and you'll get the participants. Oh, great. Let's see what Stephanie said.
Thank you. I'm just going to go back really quick to a question in the chat, but we'll get to Stephanie right away. A said, how do we get access to the FAFSA completion data tool? Login is asking for a username. Who would that be assigned to in the district? And so that is the data share agreement that Twyla was talking about. If you don't know if your district has completed a data share agreement, you're welcome to email us. We'll put the right email in the chat. It's going to be fafsa@dhe.state.co.us. And then in addition, usually the person who signs it in your district is going to be the superintendent. However, we at CDHE look forward to working with you to support the right people getting access to that information.
Thanks, Sophie. Stephanie said, I'm helping a district host a FAFSA CASFA information night in addition to a FAFSA CASFA completion event. This district has several first-time students looking to attend college, and we felt informing them first might increase our numbers for the completion event. Also hosting dinner with these events. That's a way to bring them in too. That's great. We did a lot of that during the with the grant in the summer, and it does bring them out. I think it's a great idea too. What we've been kind of promoting is having your FSA ID event this month. That way you're set up and ready, and students and contributors are ready for a FAFSA CASFA completion event next month. It's already next month. It's almost here, just like 3 weeks till it opens.
Thank you, Jennifer. I also just wanted to say to Stephanie, this is terrific information. I highly recommend at the FAFSA CASFA information night, you all support and encourage families to create their FSA ID studentaid.gov account potentially at that event. So if you don't have plans to have technology present, you might want to consider bringing a laptop cart or two so that students and families can actually create an FSA ID or studentaid.gov account at that event. For your all information, students can create a CASFA account in advance. However, it's not required because there isn't the Social Security Administration verification process. But if a student says, well, you know, I'm CASFA eligible, what do I do in preparation for the application opening in December? You can say you can create a CASFA account. Parents are not able to create a CASFA account until they are invited by their student, which, as you all may remember, that's what the FAFSA used to be like. So CASFA still does that. Thank you, Stephanie. And then I'm just going to address another question in the chat. Thank you, MK Rob says, are you anticipating changes with CASFA application rates given there is a lot of political discourse about undocumented persons, including in Aurora, Colorado? Parentheses, I'm in Aurora, Colorado in the CCSD-CE office. Sounds like I should learn what CCSD-CE office is. So I think it is a great question. It is certainly a question that is on my mind. I honestly, I would say the application rates could potentially go either way. There are a lot of things to consider. However, appreciate the question, and would love to continue the dialogue. If you have any, thanks, Jennifer, Cherry Creek School District, concurrent enrollment office. If you have any insight, let's talk about it.
And that is, I don't think that the Department of Education was anticipating this, but they have been working on language for the FSA ID. And just when you do work with students and contributors, being empathetic and understanding and patient, and just letting them know that the ID verification is not, it's only a verification for their identification, who they are. It doesn't go into anything else, and it does stop right there, because some will be uncomfortable with that, I feel like now.
Just a quick plug for the Colorado Department of Education grant that I mentioned earlier. So many people are sharing how they are working to increase financial aid completion rates in their district, and how they are doing outreach to populations that aren't always completing financial aid applications, and using that applying for that grant and using that money, that of course is a terrific opportunity to feed more people and have have more resources and all that sort of stuff. So thank you all for doing that work, and please use the grant as an opportunity to continue to do it.
We certainly speak from experience when saying those grants are worth it and can really help your students and contributors, especially like with what Sophie says, helping with those events and pulling them in, maybe getting others to assist with those events as well.
Great. All right. Do we have any other questions? Otherwise, we can maybe jump off a little early. I don't see any other questions in the chat, more statements. Great.
Well, I could just mention briefly then that our next Lunch and Learn will be December 11th, same time, same place. Feel free to register for that. And then, as always, Sophie and I have our office hours. Students and contributors can schedule time with us so that we can help them either right now with their FSA IDs, or come December 1st, if they do need help with that FAFSA form, we can get online and help them with that through the Teams platform. And we are in the process of scheduling our FA educator trainings. Those are in person. They are going to be towards the end of February. And we're looking at locations up north and down south. When we get those solidified, we will certainly let you know.
Great. I see here in the chat, Sophie put the Calendly in there to book time with her. And then Jen, I don't know if you can put your Calendly link in there. That would be great. And we will make sure that we, even though we started a little late, we will put the recording onto our website here under where you can register for the Lunch and Learn. So we'll put that there, as well as Jen's slide deck, since half of it we kind of missed before we were able to record. So thank you all. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next month. All right. Thanks all. Take care.
Thank you.